Hey, welcome everybody to podcast number 124, brought to you by 5-Pin Universe, with myself, Kerry Kreitz, the Wiseman twins, Tim and Dexter, and Daryl Bradley, bringing you the 124th semi-bi-weekly, if we feel like it, podcast. The number one 5-Pin 5-Pin podcast in the world, if you don't believe it.
I noticed a little detail, Kerry. On the opening graphic, you added 5PU to your hats and Dexter's hat.
I did.
Well done, sir. Touche. Well done.
I was not paying attention. But well done.
It's on your little hat, and on Kerry's hat, it has the 5PU.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like it. Daryl, eye update. It's coming along.
It's getting there. It's not too far away. So probably another week, I'd say, and we'll be all cleared up 100%.
Nice. Well done.
We're getting close to
relive that video.
What's that? Yeah. And do we need to see that? No, I showed it a few times this week. Yeah. Sue asked me the other day. She's like, "Do you want me to put some makeup on that?" I'm like, "You're gonna need a lot of makeup on this." No.
Or just go with the eyeshadow. Just go like full eyeshadow. Just black. You know?
Full emo.
Go full goth look or what?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Tim, how's the laser beam shooter?
It's better. That's for sure.
Good.
It's no IV today, so we're good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
Back up the par.
Awesome.
Yeah. Taking my pills like I'm supposed to.
Dex, you want to promote your trip in October for everybody here right now? Anybody want to come aboard a trip with Dexter?
Anybody who's emo at heart, if you haven't seen the When We Were Young concert that was just announced yesterday, check it out. That is like the greatest emo punk rock lineup you will ever see. Vegas, October 22nd. Tickets go on sale Friday.
Our group text was just blowing up yesterday. What is going on?
It's insane.
I look it up. I'm like, who are these bands? I have no idea. Like, I recognize a few bands. I couldn't tell anybody what song it is, but I was like,
oh man, honestly, it is like seriously Warped Tour greatest hits. Like, I don't know. It is the greatest collection of like punk rock bands I've seen ever. It's so good. So
it's not bad.
So it's a one-day concert, so it's a bit expensive if that's the only thing you're going for, but it's Vegas, so you can spend the whole week there afterwards.
Yeah, Vegas is expensive anyways.
But
you can't go to Vegas for a week. There's no way. There's no way. Like, you're 3 nights.
The closest I've been is 5 or 6 days, I think, and it was way too much.
I remember you coming back from that, Tim, and you looked like death warmed over. It's like, what a great holiday.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go relax in Vegas.
No, I was wrecked about 4 times. Like, yeah,
you guys forget you never go to the pool. The pool you guys spend 2 or 3 days at. That's the relaxing part. You don't have to be bar hopping, casino jumping.
Yeah, I was back in my younger days, right? You know, now I'm all reserved and whatnot. So
now you have bills.
Yeah, but then pool parties end up. You get the cabana going. You get the DJ spinning. You get stuff happening into the foam parties. Like, you just can't avoid it, man.
Dexter, how much is those tickets worth?
$225 American.
Okay, so all I have to say is we spent way more stupid shit on $225 American down in Vegas.
Oh, 100%.
So the money is good. I remember that one time I bought.
11.
I remember that one time I bought.
It's a 12-hour concert.
I bought 6 Red Bulls in a club for $250. I mean, so that's basically your whole ticket, right? So, yeah, it was a little pricey. Yeah.
It's a reunion trip for the boys trip that we went on. I don't think Dex was on that.
No, Dexter wasn't on. No,
Dex wasn't on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think everybody's tuning into the podcast to hear about our Vegas adventures.
No.
So
hey, although it would be a really good podcast, and I could probably go for 2 hours myself on my Vegas shenanigans, but there's people watching that don't need to hear that stuff.
So what about the NFL? Did you see everybody enjoy Patriots getting their ass kicked? Like, it was enjoyable.
Who's a Patriots fan now that Tom Brady's not there anymore? Let's be honest. Like,
oh yeah,
all the old Patriots fans are now Bucks fans. Let's go Bucks! Hey,
I went the other way. Like, I was a Patriots fan when Bledsoe was there. I loved Bledsoe. When Brady became the quarterback, I was like, goodbye.
Yeah,
you know what? I can get behind the Bills, and I'm a Dolphins fan, and I can get behind the Bills. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Patriots fans out there cheer for the Patriots, but as soon as they're out, they're like, "Hey, by the way, let's go Tampa," and it just disgusts me. And I'm calling out like people like Derek Holm out there. Don't give me.
Like Carey.
You are?
Packers? No, he's pointing at the Packers.
Packers.
It's right behind his head.
Packers.
He's pointing at the logo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no one cares about the Packers. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the only good team left in the playoffs, and you guys have nobody to cheer for.
No, the Bills. The Bills are going to win.
No,
I thought you were a Raiders fan, Tim. Stop jumping on other people's bandwagon.
I'm going to cheer for the Chargers.
The Chargers are.
San Diego.
I don't know who's Stafford. Or Stafford's with the Rams now.
the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for the Rams. I like Stafford.
That's good. Good for you, Dex.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about 5-pin league. Hey, protein league.
Yeah.
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 You guys, Dream
Let's talk
Crushers.
about it.
Yeah, Carrie and Dex are like, I don't really want to talk about it. What do you guys want to talk about?
Honestly, it's just the story of my bowling for the last 3 months.
Yeah, whatever. We'll get to that part.
Let's just punch for a million times.
First couple games. So we had the 5-pin league on Sunday. First couple games, Okanagan Eclipse. They came out and they got a couple of wins. That was pretty big for them to get that.
Huge. That puts them right back into like the whole swing of things. And yeah, there's like 4 teams really in that division that are really vying for the 3 spots. So that was 2 really huge wins for them.
Mad Hatters were definitely close. They were right there in the mix, but just couldn't do it the first game. And then they played you guys that last game at the Dream Crushers. So there's the standings there. So it was all teams that were in the Cargill division. So Dream Crushers got another win. Heartland didn't play. Paradise played, but lost to Okanagan Eclipse. And then Okanagan beat the Mad Hatters as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know for us, we're looking at what our next 3 games are, and we play Toppler, the Bombers, and we play Next Gen. And nothing against Holy Rollers, but I think those 3 are going to be unbelievably hard to play against, right? So
from that division, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be interesting when we play you in the same center. I don't think anybody else has done that, so that'd be kind of a unique situation in there, right?
Yeah, we're still a couple months away to negotiate which lane that everybody gets.
I'm pretty sure the proprietor will decide which one you're going to be on.
Well, then let's just play 15-16. We like 15. You guys like 16. Let's just go straight up. Let's think we did it.
I kind of want to put you guys at 1 and us on 16, and then we could just literally run out shots 15 lanes across.
We should ask the people. Do you want to see it when Bombers play the Dream Crushers 15-16 or 1/16? We won't play on 1 for sure.
Lane 5 would be good.
Lane 5 maybe we play. You got the air vent below on lane 5 though. We
5
played 7 on the first.
5 and 6 is the best set in the house. Like not even close. There's 5 400s on that set already this year.
Yeah, but you guys playing on 16 though. But 5 and 6 is the best in the house. But you guys are playing on 16.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Dexter and Carrie's perforance on Sunday? I mean, how about you guys?
Let's move on.
Carrie's just keeping her. Had a tough time making it hit in the middle. Dexter. Thank God you played me Sunday night because you were near retirement on Sunday night when I saw you at league.
So frustrated. It's been 3 months of just strike punch. I can't stop. I'm just losing my friggin' mind. And So
and I come up, and after the first game on Sunday night at Sunday League, I play Tim the first game. Easy work of Tim. Don't worry, everybody. There's not going to be another minute of gratitude.
That's all good. Hey, have to give him
but then I play Dexter, so I wander over. Dex sitting in behind 7-8, just kind of hanging out. And also I come up and say, "Hey, Dex, how's it going? Haven't talked to you yet since this morning." And he just immediately starts saying, "Oh my God, this sucks. That's been 3 months and this, and I'm going to retire and I'm done." And I'm like, I look over to my right, and guess who I'm playing on 7 and 8? I'm playing Dexter.
What do you think I ever said I retire? I'm retired.
Yeah, you were.
I never said that.
You definitely said you were. Yeah, definitely. And it was sure enough. Dexter comes out, shoots a 350, and all's good in the world again. No problem. You're welcome.
Yeah, you know what? I think Weber's really rubbing off on Dex, right? I think that's kind of a Weber thing. So Yeah, he shot 339 and he threw aces and 10 on a couple strikes. So,
yeah, shooting 390 going on. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then
But,
who beat me? Who beat me in that game for that singles pot? Weber.
Weber beat you.
Weber shot 350.
Right.
He was real friggin' glad. He was
and then
top of the world at that point.
I beat him in the last game. So it's like I was 2 for 3 out of the podcast crew. Okay with that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Perfect ratio for me.
Yeah. I see that we updated the stats for the 5-pin Universe Pro Team League.
Holdsworth, unbelievable, eh?
Holdsworth has got quite the run going for sure.
Yeah, I'll bring that up and share it with our.
So this is individual
watchers.
stats of the 5PL to date. Total pinfall, averages, points won, all that kind of stuff.
So there's pretty much your top players. Obviously Victor with 5 points, but we've played 5 matches. Some of these teams haven't played 5 matches yet, but Holdsworth averaging 317, winning all 4 of his matches. DB winning all 4 of his matches that he's played. I think the Bombers have played 5 though, correct, Daryl?
We have, yeah. I didn't play the first one.
Yeah, right. You just when you get buried on an easy slot in the lineup, that's what you just get gimme wins, right? So
gimme wins averaging 282. Yeah.
No. Take away your high 350 and see what you're averaging there, bud.
Hey Tim, whenever you want to show up for your team and actually be in the lineup, then we can probably start chirping.
That's a really good point.
Where's Tim Watson? What do you know?
We could have used a poll on the weekend. That's for sure. You know what? Either mine or Carrie's ass need to get yanked.
Yeah, that would have been prime time to make a poll, but no. We have selfish people on our team that don't want to show up for the team. I get it.
Yeah. Hey, doing your duties as a president of the association.
I was in the IP. I was running the interprovincials down in Stettler, home of the Heartland Bowl, right? Kingpins, and we were down there. I did my announcement. Robert Gallagher, manager, had it up on the big screen down there, and I was like, "Hey guys, I want to let you guys know, Game 3. I hear there's some really good players out there playing. They're called the Dream Crushers," and I got absolutely booed. They booed me off the mic, and I forgot Linda was there from Mad Hatter. Was like, "Whoops, foot in my mouth." Anyways, it was great, and everybody watched out there. But yeah, I don't know why everybody doesn't like the Dream Crushers. Interesting.
Before we move on to the next topic, let's ask everybody that's tuning in right now, what do you guys think of the Pro League? How many of you are watching it and staying tuned and rooting for teams? Obviously, there isn't teams from every province due to the whole COVID thing when we first started. I know there's lots of people asking about joining the Pro League and stuff like that.
Lots.
You have to wait till season 1 is done, people. You have to wait this one out. We're not adding teams in the middle of seasons and stuff like that, but it's looking good.
And for those of you that don't have a local team to support, who have you picked to cheer for and why?
Yeah.
Like that always to me is like really, really interesting. I don't know.
Who's your favorite team so far? Who's your team affiliation you're gonna go with?
Yeah.
The poor lowly
Obviously,
Dolphins.
If you have
the Miami Dolphins or the Timmins Mighty Plucks.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what? I feel like the Dream Crushers are like the Yankees. That's how I feel like we are right now.
Well, when the live commentators actively root against you, you have to be the Yankees.
I figured that was coming. Yeah.
There's no really option. Either you're the Yankees or you're the Patriots, because commentators love that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No. Obviously. Just to wrap the whole thing up, my bowling wasn't very good. I did a little session with the coach afterwards, and hopefully got some things figured out. And we'll find out tomorrow when I get to play league and try what we tested. So, it was kind of eye-opening coming back, not really playing. We played Thursday league or whatever, and I didn't play the greatest. But coming into that match, kind of having high hopes and then performing like that, kind of puts you in your place pretty quick.
Yeah.
But that's the way the game goes, man. You'll be fine. You'll be back. I'm sure it's just like you said, a couple little tweaks and you'll be there.
And I just want to.
And you've got a game this weekend too coming up.
Who else is clicking?
I was. Hey, Baldwin, just because you're with a Bomber doesn't mean you can call us the Yankees.
And I just gotta say, there's no way that I could even be considered in a Yankees sort of team at all. I was helping out a BPG Bomber bowler on Monday night to try to help her game and figure her stuff out. So I don't think any Yankee would ever do that. Especially A-Rod.
Yeah.
No chance.
Might be only A-Rod.
Aaron, sorry. Adam is definitely A-Rod. Adam is definitely A-Rod. I can.
All right, let's pay some bills before we bring our special guest in.
Yeah.
You can become a patron at patreon.com/5pinuniverse for as little as $2 a month Canadian. It helps us out, pay all our subscription fees and everything that we're doing on a monthly basis or weekly to weekly basis. And yeah, we get to show your name on the screen, or if you don't want your name on the screen, just let us know you wish to be anonymous and we won't do that. But we can't thank these people enough for sponsoring us every month and helping us bring this to fruition.
Maybe that should be our hashtag tonight. Hashtag miss left KK.
Yeah. Every miss was left. And just, yeah, literally a board. Isn't that so infuriating?
Yeah.
And then I make a correction and then punch. And I might as well just miss the middle and make my spare. Shoot 200 better than what I end up with. 185, I think it was. So
Hey, you can only go up.
I'm not a Tim Wiseman. I can't miss the middle and spare it 5 times and shoot 280. I'm sorry, I'm not that good. All-Star Bowling Sales, once again, our weekly sponsor. They're also doing a draw again this week. It'll be hashtag All-Star Draw. What else should we do? Let's run their commercial and let's bring in our special guest, I believe.
Yeah, let's do that.
Jump right into this one. So without further ado, originally from North Bay, Ontario, now resides in Upper Canada. That one's for you, Mr. Jeff Watts. Here's our special guest. Mr. Steve Greensides, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah, I love it.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
We left out the Steelers. We left out the Steelers because we saw you before with the hat, so we didn't talk about them there, buddy. How they made it to the playoffs at least.
Exactly. Yeah. Kept the 500 streak alive, so that's all I'm happy about.
Yes. What do you feel about? Do you watch the Pro League at all, Steve?
Oh yeah, I watch all your stuff. No, like I watch every podcast. I don't watch it live the Sunday morning. I usually watch it later. The Pro League, that's pretty neat. I love the 8-gamer. That was a cool tournament.
Yeah, the 8-gamer was lots of fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
So who do you cheer for? Do you have a team?
Oh, and yours.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm biased. I guess I am with you guys.
So you're with the Bombers.
Fan.
So you're with the Bombers.
Sorry, DB. No, you got a good team too. You got Matt Schultz on there. Yeah.
You're just a bandwagon jumper then. Just jumping on the 5-pin you guys. Come on, people. Yeah. Let's go Bombers.
That's awesome. We're still considering making some like team swag and stuff like that, and we'll have to get you a hat.
Okay.
Our first official fan. Look at that.
That's right.
Hey, I got a shout out for Next Gen too. Yeah, gotta like them
for sure. Yeah, that's a
Young
team full
guns.
of super talented kids.
Yeah, good name. Next gen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kind of
It
rather
wasn't
fitting
us,
for them.
trust.
And they play you guys this weekend. Next gen plays Dream Crushers this weekend coming up. That's going to be.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
That's a
That's a must see.
Yeah. That's one that we're getting geared up for. That's for sure.
Maybe Tim will show up for the team one this week.
Yeah, Tim, you busy this Sunday?
No, I'm on call for you guys. So if you guys need some help, I saw it last week, so I'm in.
Who's going to not play in the lineup though? That's going to be the tough one.
Well, that's right here.
Or me. It's got to be one of us.
The
two.
185
Right.
guy.
Yeah, you're auto out already. Are you kidding?
Who knows?
Like, I'm out.
Who knows if we don't know if Katie's available, right? So I mean, we'll all see.
A lot could happen in the next 3 days for sure.
Yeah.
Greenie, you got to ask, what is that in behind you? Like it looked like a bear of some sort?
Yeah. My brother's a chainsaw artist, and that's actually a bear from the old Carling's posters years back. So, nice. He's been to Japan. You know how they have the year of the dragon, the year of the whatever. He was going over there every year for about. Well, he did all 12, and the hair. Well, I got a plan for the hair. Yeah, it's going to be cut, and I'm mailing it to Lenny Anseth. So, I'll get the address for Len later from you guys.
You just ship it to Cut Knife, they'll find him. You don't have to
that's true.
Address.
Population 30 or what is it?
To Lenny,
Yeah, so anyway, my brother, chainsaw artist, and he was at Gross Mountain in BC for a number of years. I think he did 18 or 36 carvings, and they were all like 18 feet tall and that. And Japan, those ones were all huge. They actually had to ship the wood from BC to Japan and he would go over there. He'd be there for a month, and then they'd have an unveiling at the end. Yeah,
that's a ridiculous talent. That's a big talent somebody can do.
That's incredible.
It's like the ice sculptures or even sand castles, right?
Yeah, and it's all with a chainsaw too. That's the thing.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like big sculptures, I could see that being, a challenge. But to do something that size, that's to get that kind of detail. That's gotta be so tough. That's incredible. Super neat.
Yeah, he does more smaller stuff now. He doesn't do any of those big ones anymore. He's older, right? So yeah, but he's still doing it. Yeah,
that's really neat. That's really neat.
Well, should we chat some bowling here?
Yeah, let's do
absolutely.
that.
Let's. So Bio says started in North Bay, as Carrie mentioned before, and of course we're all googling up where was North Bay, and so there it is. So take us back, Greenie, to where it all began for you, buddy.
Yeah, I was actually born in Toronto, but anyway, my parents got divorced when I was like 6 months old, and so we lived with my grandparents in North Bay, and I started bowling there. My mom and grandmother both bowled, and so they would go up to the Four Seasons and take me along. And 3 years old, there I was bowling on a lane while they're bowling their league, right? The proprietor, like my mom was a master bowler, or grandmother, I should say, was master bowler at the time there. And so I started at a young age, and I actually started YBC when I was 5, where back then, I think it was 8 you had to be. So I was an underager, right? But they allowed me to bowl. And then I actually made the 4 Steps to Stardom team my second year. And then we ended up moving to Toronto. And my first year in Toronto, I was a peewee because they just came out with the peewees.
Right.
Yeah, so it was pretty neat. Yeah.
So you made the 4 Steps to Stardom team when you were 6?
Yes. And when I moved to Toronto, I made it as a peewee for the band team.
That's awesome.
When I was 7, yeah.
That's really good.
Kind of eye-opening and different experience too when it happens that long. What do you mean? I qualified for what? What am I playing? Where am I going? Or what am I doing?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And like there was 4 weeks of qualifying, right? It used to be your first 8 games, and Pee Wee's only bowled 2 games. So most of the people had bowled their 8 games in the first 3 weeks, and then I had my last 2 games. And like it's not like at that age I was looking at the scoreboard and knew, you know what I mean? It just happened. I made it, yeah. So
that's awesome.
So you were bowling. You went and started bowling at Thorncliffe.
that's when we moved to Toronto. Yeah.
So I read a little post about on Walter Heaney's post today at Thorncliffe.
Yeah.
About it was Jack Fine Center and stuff like that, and it was supposed to be quite the place with quite the promotions. Like they had a turtle race there before.
Yeah, it was funny. They had all that, and other people from Thorncliffe there were, and I don't know, for some reason I can vaguely remember it, but when I first read it, I didn't. But then I saw more comments, and then I sort of. But I don't know if I was ever there at the Saturday evenings when they ran it. You know what I mean? Maybe once. Yeah. So it wasn't something that stuck in my head, right?
Okay. Yeah, it's quite.
Are we talking legit like turtle races?
Yes.
Like what do you mean? They'd be at one end of the lane and go to the other end of the lane?
Right, and the first one gets the bowl from 6 to 9 for free.
Yeah.
by bringing your pet turtle, and if your turtle.
They had a tank of them.
Oh, they had a tank of them at the lane.
So you pick a turtle to race for you?
Yeah.
So it was the original marble races.
Yeah, side betting on turtles. Like you put the little number on the back of them, and they'd have to. Yeah.
Wow, you know what? I bet you that drew people in like crazy though. If we did that now, that would be insane.
Let's do it, Dex. Bonnie doing 48 turtles.
That's right.
Yeah, but I don't know how far they raced. Like whether it was just the approach until they went over the foul line. Who knows, right? Yeah, I don't even remember that. So you'd be there all night.
This is 6 to 9. You can bowl for free, but you got a turtle in the middle of your way. Yeah.
The turtle didn't cross the line till 8.
That's right. That's what I was gonna say. Like this sounds like this could turn into a side bet at a cash tournament for sure. But bring your turtles, people. Bring your turtles.
My goodness. Yeah.
Be like the chicken bowling there back in the KG. Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, we've heard a few stories of that, and people with cut hands and.
People are lucky they didn't get salmonella.
I didn't actually do it, but
I don't think you'd catch me doing it. Maybe after like 15 fireball shots, but probably not before that.
Faster approach than Tim Barker? Is that what you're getting at?
You'll see this weekend on Pro League, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I hope you get set.
So, did you have like good success in YBC? Let's hear about your YBC stuff.
Not until really my senior years. Like we had the 24 zones, right? So, and in our zone we had 14 teams, 14 centers, I should say, in our zone, in the Toronto zone there, and. So you had to get out of there, and I made it to provincials, number of times, but didn't medal. Not until in the senior years. Yeah, once on teams, we got a bronze, and then my last year senior in singles, I lost by 5. So that sort of I got a silver. So.
Ooh, losing by 5. That one sort of sticks with you for a bit too, doesn't it?
Yeah. Something I wanted to go to the nationals so bad, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't done it. So,
do you remember who you lost to that time?
Yeah, John Smith. Actually, isn't that funny? Yeah,
right.
Right. Well, that was his real name, though.
Was that at that time? Was the North still? Did the North have their own provincial?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't all together. So that's
that's just Southern Ontario. Yeah.
crazy.
Upper
But that's
Canada.
a lot of places. I mean, you said there's 24 zones, and then even within your own zone, there's 14 bowling centers.
Yeah.
I mean, the sheer amount of people that you had to go through to get there.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
even
so
within
your
your
odds
own
just
house.
to get to the provincials. Yeah, like Thorncliffe though, we were probably in our zone. We were probably the strongest center. They had a lot of good bowlers out of there. Like we had a girl went to the nationals in junior singles, and we also had the age group above me, the seniors. They won 1 year. The teams, get this, they won the provincial by 1 pin.
Wow.
As a team.
Yes. Oh, and that's back when you're keeping score. So when they posted score, because I was there watching them, I looked up to them and all that. And when I saw the score for Queensway go up, they won by 1 because I'd already figured out what they needed, right? So I was happy. But then they had to go through. They went through and counted, make sure there was no adding errors on any of the sheets. So it was close to an hour before they actually made it official.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Smart though. Smart.
Yeah.
But it's funny,
it was.
so at that time, would you say like the kid wouldn't have known what he needed, or they wouldn't have been able to, count it up that? I mean, they would have known that. The coach wouldn't they've known? Like in the 10th frame, okay, kid, you need to
teams, right? So everyone's spread out. So I don't remember how close Queensway was to Thorncliffe.
Sure. I
Yeah.
guess.
Daryl, you would think, but I know somebody didn't know they won a tournament until Wednesday, so it's it's
do they have
you rely on the statisticians more so than just your own.
But did they use telescore back then as well, or was it just pen and paper down below?
Just pen and paper, yeah.
Yeah, so there was no way of people really having a clue.
No, not until it went up on the board, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Unless Lynn Howell was there, he could tabulate it for you ahead of time.
Yeah, he
could Gail Lorenz
sneak in between.
Yeah.
Totally. Neat.
Yeah, that was I was just so happy for them, right? It was great.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And then when did you start to get even more competitive kind of thing, as a youth, or did you start playing in different leagues, adult leagues, and how did that go down for you?
Yeah, well, like when I was in my YBC senior years, they used to have drafts for the major league, and I got drafted there for 16, 17, 18. Every year it was a different team. Like the last year was with Walter Heaney, Jimmy Holt, Fraser Hamley, Holly Lee. And that was funny because they could use you 3 or 4 times throughout the year. Now, they were funny because I'd be bowling YBC on a Saturday, and I'd get a phone call at the bowling alley. Oh, Steve, can you come bowl today? Well, yeah. So I'd have to just finish that game. Sometimes Walter dropped by, picked me up. Other times they just told me to get in the cab and go out to the West End. Oh, it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This was the biggest thing going on in the area, was the Saturday afternoon major league.
That was the biggest of the major leagues. There was they had a Scarborough had a Sunday one, which traveled a couple lanes. The Saturday one traveled quite a bit, and depending on the year, sometimes 6, 8. The 1 year I was bowling in it, because I bowled in it once I got out of YBC. We bowled in 13 different centers that year.
Wow.
We went to every place twice.
Nice.
So yeah, like a Bowlerama, I think kicked in some money or something. So we went to a lot of the Bowleramas that year. I would say at least 6 or 7 out of the 13. Yeah. So
what an awesome concept! Every Saturday afternoon, that was the traveling. It was just
and you went all the way.
Now.
You went all the way. Oh no, there's in bowling alleys.
Yeah. But even still, even if there's
exactly.
5 bowling centers you could go to, but people wouldn't have the time commitment to be able to do something like that now. There's so many tournaments and other things going on in life, like it just couldn't happen.
Yeah, it was on Saturday afternoons, right? It went from 1 to about 5 or 6.
That's almost a perfect time. I mean, really.
It does make sense.
So it's all during prime time.
It must have skipped your tournament weekends and stuff like that, Steve? Or?
Oh yes. like they had a 26 week season and then playoffs. But if there was a Masters tournament, the league was usually canceled, right? Because the Masters we bowled Saturday, Sunday, right? So, yeah,
that's quite the concept. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I always thought, even though like play up in Edmonton, like an Edmonton 5-pin series where you do whatever 10 weeks and you travel the centers or something like that and do a league like that. And like Daryl, you're saying like a time commitment is pretty hard nowadays, but I wonder if like a Sunday evening league would work that way, or the Wednesday evening leagues or something like that. But
yeah, a regular week, it's still your same league. You're just not going to the same place every time. You may be going somewhere different.
Center.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Scarborough Traveling League, I think it only went to 3 different centers.
So you were saying you traveled the Bolorama quite a bit. So it was a big corporation that owned like 6 or 7 centers?
No, Bolorama had like 28.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was through Jack Fine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was early on, he didn't have that many, but there was another, I don't know, organization, Shays it was called. And Jack ended up buying all the Shays. So, and I think Shays at the time was, say, 12, and Boloramas were 16. So then when he had it all, it was 28. Like, I used to work as a pin chaser at Thorncliffe, and $2.15 an hour. So, yeah, that was something. Yeah, it wasn't, and you never got a raise. But anyhow, at midnight or later, when all the other centers were closing, they used to call in, give out, how much they made at the snack bar, lineage and all that. And then Jack would call in, about midnight every night to write down all the numbers.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Every single night. Yeah. And Thorncliffe was the place where everyone called, right? So, yeah.
Right.
Crazy. Jack was a hell of a businessman.
Yeah. And his wife, her dad owned a cinema. I don't know which one it was, but they had a chain of movie theaters. I forget what it was called now. Yeah,
it's a monopoly on the entertainment world.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah,
good for that.
I actually got to go to his house one time too. That was pretty neat. Yeah. So it was actually the Canada Winter Games. After the team we made it, we went for a pool party barbecue at his place. That was pretty cool. Yeah,
wow. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it was a nice house. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
Yeah. And they had the
which of course does bring us to the.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Green. No, just saying that brings us to the 83 Winter Games. Great segue to that. Obviously, I mean, a number of guests that we've had have had experiences there, and you had a great one yourself. So tell us about that one.
Oh yeah, that was well. I'd never made a nationals, and that was my first one, so that was really cool. Yeah, just the qualifying, and then oh, there's a big yeah. Yeah, no, it was just awesome. Like, I just wish it was still going so other people could experience. We were fortunate enough to. I don't know. It was like I called it Canada's Olympics, because it was like that. Like the opening ceremonies, like Fran I think was saying last week. Well, we were in an arena adjacent to where the other arena, there's 2 side by side, and we're all in there before they marched everyone in, all the provinces yelling their stuff and that. Yeah. And then they had built a tunnel, so you came in, and then the arena probably only held, I don't know, 5,000, 4,000, whatever. But the feeling when you walked in, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And staying in the
and now, did you know a lot of the?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Did you know a lot of the people from across the country? Like, I mean, at that time, all these people that were playing there, did you Obviously, you meet them there at that event, but that's
Oh yeah, like Bruce Mortar, Greg Gibliak, Pizzy, and that, because that was my first nationals. Yeah, so didn't really meet any of the women really because we bowled at different times. But a lot of good memories. Jeff Bourne was there, I believe. Yeah, It was Kip Smith from BC. No, it was that's where I met all these guys who I would eventually, see a number of times later.
Yeah.
We were supposed to, Rod and I, we were supposed to go out with Greg and meet Greg and Bruce. We were talking one day at the lanes because we were in separate groups, so we didn't bowl against each other. And we were supposed to meet them, but we ended up at a different place than they were. So, yeah.
Everything we've heard about the Winter Olympics was just that it was absolutely like the greatest experience ever. You're right. I wish stuff like that continued. I wish 5-pin bowling wasn't snubbed from those kind of things when it's such a Canadian sport. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we were hearing it there. Like there was lots of sports that weren't in it, and they said everyone was always saying, "Oh, we could do better than we should be there." But you got bowling here, we should be there. Like the one that sticks out was ringette for some reason, but there was others too. Everyone was trying to get in.
Yep.
And then like you heard the other guests too. The lanes upstairs were put in the gymnasium just for that.
Yeah, that's so neat.
Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah, and the Army base was just awesome. Like the food there, we ate most of our meals there, I believe. The showers at the school were terrible. Like if they any worked, you know what I mean? So we actually started, I don't know if any other teams did, but when we said, they've got the facilities here, we always had our showers at the base. Like we all had lockers. They had our name, Bruce Mortar, Alberta.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everyone had their name on a locker. Yeah. It was really classy. It was good.
That's amazing. I wish we could do something like that. Or I'd love to see us build a set of lanes in like a gymnasium and just have like a stadium series of like tournaments or something. That'd be just 2 lanes in the middle of like Shaw Conference Center Carey or something like that, and just have the bleachers all around and let's go.
Yeah,
it's amazing to me that that they did that in the Winter Games, but that happens in the States for the USBC Open Championships. They literally rent a facility like the Agricom Center in Edmonton or whatever. They rent out the 3 warehouses and they build like 48 lanes, 56 lanes, whatever needs to be built to support the Open Championships for a month and a half. And they just run all the events, right? Like they don't use a previous center. They build it, and after it's all done, they sell the equipment to existing bowling centers that need new equipment or whatever. They just sell it off.
Wow.
Like where do they get it all in the first place? And then every year they buy new equipment?
Yeah. So it's usually from a sponsor. So whatever AMF sponsors this year, they provide the equipment, and they obviously have tons of sponsorships going on from the wall. When bowling balls break down every couple months, like Storm Bowling is a multi-million-dollar company, right? And so is Brunswick, and they can afford to sponsor those type of events, where ours, like we always talk about EPCO and FIPS and all them, like they only can do so much because people only buy one set of bowling balls. Well, your market runs pretty thin pretty quick, right? So unfortunately we don't get the sponsorships from bowling related companies in Canada because their products last forever.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you put together even 6 lanes, 2 lanes? I mean, you got to store them properly in a warehouse somewhere, heat controlled. You got to have the machines. You got to have everything ready. Trucks. Yeah. That's a big operation. Seems to be.
You can buy a set of lanes now for dirt cheap because all these centers that close down are selling them, and they're selling them for tabletops and patios because nobody's buying them anymore.
The wood for sure. But if you can get
even a machine, could you even get a machine for cheap?
For sure,
probably pretty cheap.
Yeah. We know a guy selling. We know
a machine for $20,000 right now.
We know a guy who bought a couple of Mendez machines for like $800 from the US.
Yeah, it's like
or
you
sorry,
can get
from
them a lot cheaper than
Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can get a set of laminate, I mean, you don't have to temperature control those as much. It could sit there. You just have to make sure that you leave it in the place for, a couple of weeks so that it acclimatizes, and then get it put in and set properly. And I just think leveling would be the hardest part in building the bracing below, but it would be a process. But I think it's doable. I still think it'd be awesome to get two semi trucks that are just wide enough for 2 lanes and butt them together and have nothing but cameras in there and go. It'd be super cool too.
Inside the truck.
Yeah. There was a dude that did that in the States.
Yeah, I seen that. Had inside a trailer.
Yeah, inside a trailer.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And you just drive it around, park it, level it, away you go.
Oh, I didn't know that part. I thought it was stationary.
No, it literally drives around.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
I didn't realize that bowling lanes or machines or used equipment you could get for so cheap right now, right? Like, I mean, if I just wanted to throw one up in my warehouse, a 30-foot lane, what do you need? A couple of sections and then a pin deck and a machine. I mean, I don't want to be fetching my own balls. But
I don't know if you get a lot of 5-pin machines out there, but definitely a lot of 10-pins out there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of 5-pin out there now too. You can go on Facebook groups and stuff and find them, just because all these centers have closed.
Sure.
You can buy it. It would be getting high voltage boxes and stuff like that into your facility in order to run that stuff, I think, would be the harder part. But getting the actual material and the machines, it's not nearly as expensive as it used to be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, sounds like we're having a conversation off air here, Kerry. Well, I had that screen printing equipment in my shop, and I had that high volt put in there. So I'm like, hey, let's tear that out and put in a bowling alley. Okay,
there you go.
Go practice. A little practice for the old man, for the BG home base for the Bombers.
That's right.
Oh snap!
Yeah. For the clubhouse.
Cool.
Anyways, Greenie, how about let's go to the Open side of things. Your involvement playing the Open first couple of years, what was that like? You come in again, a lot of zones, a lot of people playing. Provincials, I'm sure, were massive.
They were awesome.
Some of the players you would have looked up to.
So many people, like I say, we had the 24 zones. Sherwood was just packed. It was, and back at the hotels, there was 2 hotels side by side. Everybody had hospitality rooms, Yeah, and forget what night it would be. Oh, Thursday night, Carling's had a free beer night. So, that was,
what?
Free beer for we got back to the hotel. It started at around, I guess, 8 o'clock, and 12 o'clock they ran out every year. But people were still had tons of beer on their, at their tables and that, right? It was just a blast. Yeah.
And then you get up and bowl at 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
Well, no, it was funny. If you were on the men's team, you were lucky because you got to bowl in the afternoon. The mixed team, they're the ones that had to bowl. So if you were on the mixed team after the beer night, that was a rough one for you.
Motivation to bowl better and make the men's team.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a really good schedule. Yeah.
So what was your rookie year?
The first year out of YBC. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't ask me the exact year. Yeah. I only bowled the Open there for 8 years, and then I stopped, and I was just bowling the Yaba, which we hosted back home. First of all, you didn't have the 2 weekends of qualifying in December, the expense of going to Hamilton, the hotel and all that. I could stay at home, go to the Yaba tournament, and it was a blast. So I only bowled 8 years, and then back, Barker and the guys got me to come out, and I went back a few more years later on. I think I bowled a total of 12 years in the Open. So,
That Yaba tournament, that's no longer going on, is it?
No. And you could bowl into that. it used to be 18 to 29, then they changed it and up to 40, and then they made it, well, if you've been in already, you could bowl if you were 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And there was those tournaments were pretty packed at the time too. You know, it sort of slowed down as years went on, but it was still good. Like we had a tour. There's probably 6 tournaments a year.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Travel around. Yeah. Oh, and those you were allowed to drink in. It was just it was handicap most of the events, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Except the one on Easter weekend, which is when the provincials were, that had 5 events. And so that's where, it was really good. And it was usually every shift was pretty much packed. So that was a good time.
Sort of the WCBT, but sort of on steroids, I'm sure back then. But just all in your area. Was that where the events were for Yaba, or did you travel around outside province for that? Just
no, just in Ontario. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they had Ottawa and that. Yeah, there we go. John saying that's going way back. Yeah. Oh, but you know what? It's true. Yeah.
That's 600 players across 5 events, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not 600 players playing every single event.
No.
That's still
yeah.
pretty.
Still a lot of entries over the course of the weekend, right?
And that's crazy how they
like
ran
used
it
to
on
bowl.
Easter.
Yeah. And when what John was referring to there, that was actually held in 3 different centers, like in Scarborough. There was 3 different centers for that whole weekend. So it was crazy. And they used to have a big scratch singles on the Sunday. And like guys like me that were in Yaba, we'd come back from Hamilton, get up early to go bowl in that because they had $1,000 first prize back then. So that's pretty crazy. Good. Yeah.
That's crazy. So we have some people chatting here in the in the chat over here, and one is near and dear to our heart, but Don's talking about how you won the singles in 1986 for the Open.
Yes.
And then a really good friend of ours, Brian Randall's like, yeah, he beat me that year.
Yeah. But Brian won a hell of a lot more than me in the Calcutta. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So Steve, Brian used to work at our center. He still coaches our center. And unfortunately, he's bowling on my team on Sundays. But he tells us, he always told us about the story about 86. And I don't know if we ever talked about it. We had a bunch of people on, but how much money you can make off the Calcutta in the singles.
Well, I came second, right?
Yeah.
In the qualifying, and I got over $2,000, and that was half. Right. So the other half was the people who bought me, because you could buy yourself. You got 50%. I'm not sure in 86 it was $50 or $100 to buy yourself. And then they have the Calcutta after 4 games with the top 36 who made it, right, out of the 72, because they dropped 36 after 4 games. So we had a big party. The Calcutta was a big party, right? Everyone there, and they go to the women, and like, let's say at the bottom 3, like 36, 35, 34, they would sell as a group. So you had a chance for the last day, right? And then as it got closer, went to 2, and then when they get, in the top 15 or whatever, they go individually. So, yeah.
It's funny that, at the Open level, I mean, that's the level that I couldn't imagine doing it now. I mean, can't imagine doing it a lot of places, but it's funny the times of when you run events like that in side game, right?
With gaming licenses, I mean, Tim is scared of everything, and rightfully so. But I mean, I could not imagine. But I mean, there's lots of places that could probably get a legal Calcutta going. I mean, in Saskatchewan, you could probably do it.
In Manitoba, I believe you can actually. But the AGLCS, Manitoba liquoring, you got to get a cut of it, right? So.
Yeah, but that's
I don't even think they get a cut of it. I think you just need to make a donation to the not-for-profit. It's a percentage, right?
Yeah.
It just goes to a charity of choice or whatever the situation is, and then they can run it. But like stories of past hearing all these large Calcuttas and stuff like that. It's insane when you hear like Bruce Mortar back in the 70s goes for $1,200 and stuff like that. Like, how many people went at that price? Like, some people said there was like $30,000 in the Calcuttas back then. Like,
and let's do the price exchange, because the price now would be a way more, right?
Oh yeah.
Inflation.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what would that be worth now? Like $100,000? Like, that's crazy.
Like in that one there, I don't know if I was tied for 6th or 7th with Rob McGregor in that Calcutta. I think I went for 500 and McGregor went for like 7. And it was something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that final match against Brian for winning the national championship? And what would have that? I mean, obviously you were winning
that's crazy there.
Provincials, obviously, to go to nationals, and then how did nationals go? I mean, just what did that feeling to win?
Oh,
the title?
you just have. Any of you guys been to Sherwood or no?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There,
And when you've been there, they've had the bleachers up, right? Yeah, and it is just packed. Like, it's hard to like, I've been there watching many times, and it's hard to find a place to watch. It's just crazy. So, and in the 10th frame, I needed 21, I think, because he had finished, and I threw the first ball, and it's funny when I let it go, I said, "Oh no." And then a second later, it broke a bit. Oh, yeah. And I got a straight. But when I first thought, oh, no. But it was right in the pocket. And then I just, I ended up leaving the corner. And so I won by 9.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved the Sherwood setup, the quadrant system. It
was
quite the
That's
center.
really awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think back when we had the Open, we had to be way over, like, the fire limit, whatever. We had to be way over that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. A lot of people in there.
Yeah.
And of course, the big room downstairs, didn't you? That's where we all had our sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a beer garden down there for the Open. Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was closed when we were there last time.
Yeah.
And they closed the lounge up near the cafeteria area too.
Oh,
So,
really? Oh, yeah. The one up top. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have any of that open at all when we were there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was the lounge still there?
The lounge, like we just had the bar at the main desk, and that was it.
But the lounge was
okay.
still there. They just
Center
didn't
desk.
open it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still there.
I think they used to lease that out, I think, that little part.
I thought they leased everything to the 05, and the 05 just ran everything there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did everything.
It's no longer, right? Like, what's in the Bowen Center
It
now?
closed down.
half
closed.
of it's I think it's a like
Like
a
a
Grocery
store.
pharmacy convenience
Grocery
store or
store,
something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's too
But
bad.
there was talks that they were gonna try and put like a 16-lane center or something still on the other half. I heard.
Yeah.
But who
It's still
knows
there.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
the lanes
is
are
it?
still there?
On the one half of they're still there. Last time
Oh,
someone
wow.
took
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm
there you go.
loving all the comments from the from people watching right now. Thanks for being on the ball. We're so quick and engaged.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 I like the lounge name. That's perfect. That's awesome. So that would have been your highlight of the Open for you?
Yeah.
How
like
did
our
your national
teams-
experience go?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. No, I would have just being there. It made me want to be on a team. You know what I mean? Because teams were having a great time. We had some really good teams there that year. Actually, they all won, and they all got gold. And Connie, she was singles and ladies team. She got single in the silver in the singles and won on team. So all 3 Ontario teams won that year, which is very rare for an Ontario team to win the Open anyway, I think. And so at the banquet, they were all at the head table. So here I am. I'm at a table with some guests and some other guests from other province. 4 of them were from Ontario. And so the one lady says to me, "How come you're not up there?" I said, "Well, they were short one seat. So I volunteered to stay." Well, the people from Ontario almost spilled out their drink, right? The one lady. And so I got busted when they called me up for my bronze. I came back. She was giving me a dirty look, right? But yeah, no, it was good, and that was Expo '86 in Vancouver. So one day we didn't bowl, we went to Expo, and so I hung with the mixed team with Donnie Betts and them, and the ladies team with Connie and them. We just had a great day all day. Just going. We went to a bar and went on a ride. Went to a bar, went on the ride. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I remember Donnie Betts telling us about that Expo. When you started saying Expo '86, that rang a bell from when we had him on. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool of him. Yeah.
I don't think that I would be going to the bar and then getting on a ride. It's a quick way to lose your cookies.
Oh, the best one. There was this like drop zone, right?
Yeah.
They put you in this basket. 3 of you go up, and it goes way up, and so they tell you to put your hands at the side, right? And so when you start to drop, well, you can't help it because you're sort of off the ground, right? So they shoot you up twice, right? So everyone's watching, all going up twice. Finally, Kathy Barker and 2 others go up. And Kathy Barker is screaming her head off, right? So anyway, so they come down the second time, right? So and the guy had looked over at us because he knew we were a group. He says, "Watch this." So he went like he was going to open the gate, but he had already sent it up to go up a third time. Well, the screaming. This guy must have done this every half hour, 45 minutes, because with whoever's screaming the loudest, right? We were laughing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I learned early on, Dex, that I got about 1 roller coaster in me at any of these amusement parks, and that's it. So if Dad's going with my kids, if I'm going anywhere, I'm going 1 roller coaster or 1 serious ride, and then that's about my limit.
I think Tim's about the same.
We
went to Knott's Berry Farm one time, and Tim was like adamant he was going to go on to this one ride. No, we're going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm no chicken shit. I'm going to do it. And he gets onto it, and he instantly regretted his life. And I'm pretty sure he couldn't walk for like 2 hours after.
And the worst part is I drank a bunch of root beer, and I fucking puked that thing up. Just vomited instantly.
Yeah. The good old Six Flags, or Disney's not so bad. Disney I can handle, but we're talking like full on amusement park there.
That's funny.
Anyway,
so it looks like Masters was more of your jam.
Yeah. I had more success there.
You 263 average over 824 games in Masters.
Yeah. To get on that list, you had to bowl 8 seasons. Like back, we bowled 64, right, a season, and for the aggregate, you can't drop it. You had to count all 64. So to get on,
that's your Ontario average. Sorry, Steve.
What's that?
That's your Ontario average for Masters.
Well, for the Masters, yeah.
That includes your national then?
No.
Oh,
just our tournaments. Okay. Just the regular 64 for the year, the aggregate. Yeah.
That's awesome that the stats like that are kept. I mean, are they still kept today?
I think
playing
so.
And there's some big Masters.
Sorry, I think they've got different groups. Like that one there you're talking about, you had to have a minimum 500. I know there's one with over 1,000 and 1,500. Right, or there's fewer, right? Just for people that bowled more, like Fraser, and Cameron's, and them who bowled a ton of games, right? So, yeah.
And did they always? Do they still keep all 6 tournaments, or sorry, that was 8 tournaments. You had played how many?
No. We bowled 5 of 10 and 1 of 14. The 10%, the year-end tournament was 14 games. See, all we bowled 10 games, 5 at each center, right?
Yeah.
Because they split it up. We had 125, 130 men, 80 women. So we were in 2 different centers. So one bowled, let's say this center and the other at the other, and then you flip for Sunday. Right. And then the top 32, top 16 would meet back for a play down to win the tournament at one of the centers. Yeah.
Oh, so you had 200 people for a weekend.
Yeah, 2 24 house centers, right? So,
wow.
Unless we were in Hamilton, we always played Hamilton once a year, so we were all together. Sure. That was the only time. Yeah.
So, how many does Masters have now on Ontario?
I think about 36. That's men and women. Yeah. Oh, and now I think they drop a tournament now. Yeah.
I think so. So Steve, I know we just came back from our Masters last week, and the guys just play with just the guys on the first day, and the girls play with just the girls. I think the guys kind of enjoy that a little bit more sometimes because there's a little bit more of a relaxing feel. Sometimes I feel. Did you enjoy playing together, or did you enjoy having them separate?
Well, we were always mixed.
Always mixed.
Yeah,
okay.
There was a lane draw, so except for the 10% because that was a match play tournament.
Okay.
So the first day, whoever's on your lane, you played them once, right? And then the next day you'd be on a totally different group and play everyone there. Because that tournament, because they had the national coaching selection right after, there was no playoff after, right? That's why it was 14 games. And it was called 10% because 10% of every tournament of the prize money went to that one. So that one was really good money. That was their best paying tournament.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You guys paid out decent prize money at every tournament though, right? It was more of a cash tournament with Masters results, correct?
Yeah, like there was some like the regular tournaments were 1,000 for first generally, and the 10% was over 2,300 as high as depending, and then
how much do we win at
top
our
30?
Like, if there was $1,000 for first, I think you'd get a lot bigger draw.
For sure, you
would.
And don't forget, 32 made money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
I'm looking at the website.
When you have 200 players, that's
This is amazing.
I think Alberta had quite a few back in the day. Then I know it was. I always thought that they had 80 men, but I asked Greg once, and I think he said it was 80 sort of combined. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if that was before I started playing.
To be honest with you, Steve, it kind of went down as soon as Dexter took over. So I don't know if that has any correlation between it.
In all fairness, we've had the highest numbers this year than we have ever, or in the last 10 years. And it's a COVID year. So shove it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on the website right now. So you're second place by a mere 0.09 average for over games of 500 in Ontario.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's some guys that have played 1,100 or some I think over Walter Heaney's over 2,000.
Yeah.
Ian Cameron, a couple guys over 2,000. I love the stats. I love that somebody's taken the time and compiled all these stats and just have that. I don't know if other provinces, does Alberta have this sort of detailed stats from qualifying? No. How many years have we had Masters in Alberta? I mean, obviously 50, 60 years. Where's the historical data on?
Well, the thing is, you would have had to start to do it back then, right?
Yeah, but
it's something like you can't start to do now.
Well, you can. I mean, you're just not going to get the history past before 2000. I mean, I mean, Tim, you're pretty good at diving in. I'm sure there's, some stats out there, some qualifying, or some people might have it. I mean, that's.
Oh, I'm sure the Masters have all the totals still, guaranteed. Yeah. They just won't have game for game stuff, but they have all the totals. I bet you for the whole time.
maybe there's
Diane definitely would.
Yeah, well, it's a
compilation
huge
thing
project. Yeah, Diane, Bruce. I mean, they made it 30 years in a row, weren't they? It's a data entry thing that's going to be a big undertaking. But I love that Ontario's done that and has made that history, because it's sort of ahead of every other province when it comes to stats, I would say.
Yeah, Dex isn't a big stats guy, so don't expect.
No.
Oh no, I'm not a big,
not on his watch.
Personal stats like that stuff, but
I'm just bugging you, Dex.
The other, yeah. I mean, there's 12 years of stats up there. It wouldn't be that hard for me to take what's up here on the Excels and put them all together. Like, that's honestly not super complicated. So,
yeah. Does other provinces keep stuff like this, like Manitoba or any other BCs or Saskatchewans? What do they have?
I'm sure Saskatchewan does. Saskatchewan has like league stats for all their stuff.
Yeah, I could go down a rabbit hole looking at all these stats on here, so I won't. But it's cool that they're all compiled somewhere. So
I like stats too.
Yeah, that right. 200.
BC's got the last 10 years up there, so again, easy enough to go through. But
time.
We're slowly catching up. We're behind Ontario on the stats thing. No doubt there.
Yeah.
We just focus on winning.
So Steve, in '96, you won your gold in the tournament as a tournament master on the men's single. And you averaged 295. You kind of dominated the whole tournament. How did that tournament go for you?
Yeah, that was nice. And it was in Newfoundland, eh?
Yeah.
So, I hadn't bowled in the Masters for 6 years leading into that. And I came back. I didn't expect to do that. And I had a great season in the qualifying. And then Newfoundland on top was just, it was just great.
Kathy's trying to buffalo you, Steve. I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know.
you got one, Kathy. Good job.
And you beat Lenny in the finals. It was close finals. It was close, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And like Lenny said on here before, it was because of me that he got in, and that wasn't the case. Like, he had the rough start, but the only time I really helped him was the final game when I beat the guy from BC. Oh, what's his name? Got it here. Oh, Cronenbaker.
Oh,
Cronenbaker.
Better.
Yeah. So,
good old Joe.
Yeah. I was like, I had an amazing start. I started off 11-1, right, and then it sort of went downhill for there. Like, I only ended up 14-7, right? Yeah, like the third day, guys were just kicking my butt. I had a decent day and went 2-4, right? So
yeah.
But
that's what happens, right? People are in desperation mode, and they're gonna try to throw obviously the best they can. And
like Tom Stevenson, he was the second high average, and he didn't make the top 3. That's the way match play goes.
Yeah,
I think that happened to Jeff Bourne one year, wasn't it? Where he was top average but didn't make it.
2014 Master. He was in Winnipeg. I think he was bottom. I think he was last.
Yeah.
It was top average.
Yeah.
Well, and he didn't make top 3.
Yeah, he was actually last. I don't think he won the least amount of games.
Just because he lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Just lucked up.
All the years I've been in the Nationals, in the singles, I've always watched, and it's always like guys in the top 3 are 13-8, 12-9, and they're all there because everyone's beating everybody. Yeah. Like the guy from Quebec, I think the 3 games against me, he had 1,000. So I go 1-2 against him, right? So that's just the way it goes.
Just the way it goes.
Absolutely.
So when you're in Newfoundland, I believe we talked to maybe in the past. You had a couple of good stories from that with Kevin O'Leary, was it? Or when you're having a fish, was it? Or you had the dinner at one time?
Oh no, that was actually in Nanaimo.
In Nanaimo,
that happened. Yeah, because they didn't like the salmon because they're used to theirs Atlantic salmon. Pacific. So anyway, we were on an island and we had salmon barbecue. And so I went up, I was getting my third piece. And O'Leary says, Stevie, you can't eat any more of that. You're going to get alcohol. Or, sorry, what do you call it? Some poisoning. Oh, I forget what it was now. And so I took another bite, and then I didn't eat any more. And then I found out the next day him and Betts were joking with me. So.
Just getting you all riled.
Yeah.
Mercury.
Just
yes.
Mercury. That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah.
I know we're all trying to figure it out.
No, it was Mercury. It was Mercury, is what they said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Salmonella's the perfect answer, though. That's so
good. And it was so good. It was so good.
So Donnie Betts wants me to ask you, how do you got your nickname?
Oh, Daffy. That was same year in Nanaimo. O'Leary and Betts were bowling in the step ladder in the finals, right? They were second, third. And me and two girls, Trish and Kathy Daku, they were going to a costume place. They said, come with me. So they got full costumes and we came in, everything. But I just got a Daffy hat. I rented the hat. So I came in, and so that's why he calls me Daffy. Because I come in with his hat. He wasn't sure who it was, but had a pretty good idea. So him and O'Leary were just...
Right in the middle of a step ladder in the match.
Yeah. Well, it was before they started. You know? But it was perfect. Yeah. Because they couldn't see my face, right, with the mask. Yeah, so
that's hilarious. Good.
Yeah.
How about some more master stuff? Because you got a pretty solid resume here of provincial tournaments, aggregate titles, gold medals and stuff like that. So any more of those stick out to you? And who were maybe on some of those teams? Do you recall?
Oh, I've bowled with everyone. No, it's funny. In all those teams, only once did I bowl with the same bowler, right? It was always different bowlers every year, right? Like you had to average for the 64 games to make the aggregate. Every year it was 265. Some years maybe 267, but be anywhere in that range, and you made the team. So it was always different players. The best team I think I ever played on was in '85. It was Greg Pederitis, myself, Fraser Hambley, John Wilson, and Nick Pegnell. I don't know if you guys have heard of Nicky, but he was really good. Like him and who you call the Indian? What's his name? From Alberta.
Cunningham.
Yes, Roy Cunningham. Correct. Yeah, those two really had the Chief. Sorry.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah. So he was on Alberta and that, but that year that was a great team. And I think we were 14-6 anyway, something like that. And but a good story about that one. Fraser always bowled the lead off, right? And John Wilson, he's a leadoff bowler, and we had bowled against them in the Open in the finals, the Final Four, and from Guelph. And for some reason, John Wilson got in Fraser's head, right? So Fraser said, because normally it'd be Fraser lead off, no doubt, just like Bruce, right, in Alberta. And he says, no, John Bull and Fraser bowled fourth with Nicky. So it was a real good, solid lineup. Yeah.
Amazing.
Fraser sounds like he was quite the guy, and would have been able to play with him.
I bowled, we were in the same zone, right? So I bowled behind Fraser because I always bowled second, and I always didn't matter Yaba, whatever, always second. And it all started bowling up with Fraser in the Open.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I bet you he was
7 years we were on the team. Oh God, yeah. He was such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Honest to God, yeah, there wasn't a better guy, like Bruce Mortar. He's awesome, Greg and all that. And Fraser's just there too. Diane Violini, just class. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they're all pure class on and off the lanes.
So you qualified for 7 nationals.
Yeah.
And you had 3 gold medals and a bronze. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And then the other years, like you guys have talked in some years, the teams just don't mesh.
Yep.
And that's it, right?
Yep.
Like, I'll say one thing, and I'm not going to offend any other provinces by saying this, I hope, but bowling against an Alberta team at the Masters, there was nothing. Like, we had so many good matches, and it was just amazing. And I'm sure all the guys from the other provinces would agree. They would say the same, like Bruce and everything. And it didn't matter who you guys had in your team. It was good teams.
Yeah. Honestly, I still think it's pretty similar now. I mean, most of the best matches I've been involved with have been against the Ontario teams, and it's always like a good little rivalry there, but a friendly rivalry. It's always awesome.
Yeah, no, it was just something. I loved it. Whether you win or lose, it was just fun. Bowling the best against the best. That's why I like the Masters. I never went to the Nationals on a team in the Open, but the Masters had you had everyone from the best from your province, not just your zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I always found intriguing about it. It's people that you normally would never get to be able to play a team with, right?
Right.
And you get to go to support or to defend your province at nationals. It was amazing to be a part of something like that. It's kind of neat to see the Masters go through its wave now, right? Because so now Manitoba would technically be one of the toughest teams out there. They've won, I think, 3 nationals in the last 7 years for men's, Tim, right? Like, they become one of the toughest teams out there. And it's neat to see, because like you always get that, the Ontario, the Alberta teams, they've usually trade back and forth winning at least a gold or a silver. You're usually in that step ladder or something like that. But it's neat to see the change in, I guess there's not a step ladder in Masters, but the change in the guard a little bit. And I think it brings those players to the other tournaments as well. Want to play in the Opens or the WCBTs or the other tour events, that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure we know the answer to this, Steve, but your preference from a single standpoint, Open Nationals versus Masters Nationals?
I would say Masters, but that's because I've been to more, right? I only been to one Open Nationals. So like I know a lot of guys out there. I always like the Masters for some reason. I guess that's because I made more, but no, I don't want to say one over the other.
Yeah, just obviously Masters is you play match play throughout the qualifying stage, right before the step ladder, whereas the Open it's a pinfall format.
Yeah, to me that I didn't like that. That if at least it was match play, you would have been a little more engaged in the thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Yep.
Yeah. But then again, they've got how many provinces? You got 10 or 11 because you have the territories, right? Still. Yeah. So there's more, and in the teams you only play each other twice, but then they have the step ladder. Where in the Masters you got the 8, you play in everyone 3 times, so there's no need for a team step ladder after that, because every team's had a crack at each other 3 times.
So who doesn't play Masters? NWT, Nova Scotia,
and the Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
The Atlantic don't play.
Newfoundland doesn't play?
Newfoundland,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And back the first time I bowled singles in Masters in '88, there was only 6 then. Quebec wasn't in yet, at Northern Ontario. So they came in. I don't know if they came in the same year or one right after the other, something like that.
Right.
Which is good. I'm glad to see the two of them in there.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. We're still trying to get an Atlantics team put into Masters Nationals as well. They were looking at trying to get it in there before COVID hit, and obviously we haven't had a Nationals in a little while, so that would be super neat. Just a Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI team kind of mashed together, just to get more exposure and more of the players from out there, and build membership and grow the game a bit. So yeah.
Now, here's something I was going to throw at you, and I'm going to take off for 1 minute, but I want to throw this out. You guys discuss it, and maybe your viewers. Like for your singles for the Open, right? You got your 5 zones, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. In Alberta, yeah.
Yeah. And only 3 from each zone in the singles, so you got 15?
Yeah.
Correct.
Have you ever thought, or has everyone ever brought up, why not make the top 6, like the whole men's team, be in the singles as well? So you got 30 and 30?
No, actually, no one's ever brought it up.
You go for your break, and we'll debate it.
Yeah, isn't that a good idea though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
make
mind that.
I think it would make the singles competition a little more, because it's got. I just can't see it. 15 guys.
It just depends on lanes. If we only have 12 lane house, right, that makes it for a long time. But that being
okay,
said,
I'll be right back. You guys discuss.
We will.
So I'm honestly, I do enjoy the singles portion, minus losing the Weber. But I will say I do enjoy being 4th to 6th, because that's the greatest part. You're on the men's team, but you can drink a bunch of beer during that time. It is.
I think I like the idea of going to all of the men's team, but selfishly, because I think I've played 9 men's team, and 1 of them I've made singles, and the other 8 I've been 4th to 6th, and it'd be like, it'd be kind of fun to be playing here. But also, on the other hand, I didn't earn it, and the rules are the rules, and you top 3 make the opportunity to play singles, and I kind of like that too. That no, there shouldn't be all 6, because what if you have a 6th place guy that qualifies, gets in, and now he's all of a sudden the one going to nationals? Like you haven't performed all the way throughout to get that high.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of neat, like he's saying, you have those 30, but then now all of a sudden you're at 60 bowlers, right? Because the singles play all at the same time.
And then you can't. I mean, that's a long day. You start doing a 10-game qualifier. Well, now, yeah, right, Tim. If you have 12 lanes that's small enough to run all the teams at once, now you're looking at 5-player teams. You're looking at a 10-hour day of bowling plus step ladder before you even start the teams, burning people out right away.
Am I the first guest to do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
First for everything, eh?
Yeah. See, we've all learned by now, Steve. We all have cups underneath of our desks here, so we don't have to get up and go anywhere.
It's called a Stadium Pal. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've only had a couple of these, but I had a lot of coffee today. Jeez. Yeah, and when you get older, right, you just can't do that anymore, right? You gotta go.
Tim has had a stewardess tell him that he's got a baby bladder, so you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So final consensus on the 6th. I guess it all really depends on what the lane can hold, because you can't do 60 people 2 days singles qualifying. It has to be limited in some way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I like it.
Alberta
but
does the
vote.
Wednesday. Yeah. So Alberta does the Wednesday singles. And then, so if it was 60, because you got to do men's and ladies all on Wednesday, it would just take too long, I think, is kind of the consensus. And then you don't have time for like your team pictures, all your after facility stuff. But,
so are most of your centers smaller?
16 is the main size.
Oh, okay.
There's 16, 18, 20,
See, back when I bowled, like the normal was 24. Pretty much. There were some smaller ones, but almost every center, and they're all gone now. It's so sad. Like Toronto zone right now is now actually 4 zones. It's Scarborough, Agincourt, Toronto, and York West. And back when I bowled the Toronto zone, there's not one bowling alley in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure that out, right?
It's just building space, and everything became more prevalent, right?
Yeah, it's just so sad.
Honestly, I'm a little biased because our center is 16 lanes, but I think 16 and 20 is definitely the sweet spot because you can host every tournament that there needs to be. It's good enough that you could fill up your open play generally no problem, but you're not going to have a whole bunch of like down lanes or wasted capacity, lease space,
square
exactly.
footage. Yeah, exactly. So, you got to be.
That's kind of the sweet spot these days.
Yeah. And then you have a place like Chinooka's 32 and Bonnie Doon is 48, and they're the largest by.
Oh, Bonnie Doon's 48 lanes.
It's huge.
But they don't. But I mean, like even Martin said at one point, he's like, maybe we should take a couple out and do something else with it, right? Because depending on the certain amount of days now, right? So it adds up real fast. But a lot of if you go outside the main centers like Red Deer, Alberta, Red Deer, Edmonton, and Calgary, there isn't a whole lot.
Lethbridge, Medicine.
There's like maybe eight lanes is most common out there. There's not like any big center outside the Metro's area. Yeah.
Lloydminster, GP, what are those?
12.
GP has 12.
12, and Lloydminster's 12.
And Heartland's only 8?
8, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them small ones are only 8 lanes.
Panorama 16 maybe?
16.
Panorama
and they have
16.
And they also have 12 lanes, I think, for a 10-pin on the other side.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Bonnie Doon something else. 48 lanes, all like stacked. It's not quadrants or anything. It takes you a while to walk from 1 to 48 when you got the green and gold bad lane.
Yeah. But the great part about that is you pass the bar.
Yeah. No smoking room anymore, so you don't get gassed.
Yes. Remember smoking rooms in bowling centers?
Yeah.
Or just smoking as a whole in bowling alleys. Holy cow, am I glad those days are gone.
Yeah. But actually, funny thing, Nebs, when they first opened, they actually had a beer cart, booze cart, like super-sized golf cart, right? Motorized, and it would drive like especially they only didn't use it a lot, but in the Yabba tournaments when they had a Yabba tournament and that thing, a lot of times it just drove down and parked, right? And the bar was at one end, so it sort of gave you 2 bars. But it was
that's so smart. That's awesome.
Bonnie Doon has to knock out its washrooms, and then it can do that.
Yeah.
I actually
was cool.
I think I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, you probably have.
The beer Zamboni, the mini Zamboni.
Yeah, they still have it. Yeah, it was like the size of a Zamboni. No kidding.
Hashtag Club Tour 2022. Let's bring it back. Club Tour 2022.
They still have it. They got to park somewhere. They don't use it. And when you're talking about smoking, you know how they had smoking rooms?
Yeah.
Well, they had these booths behind, let's say, every 4 lanes or so. And you stood, there was no walls or anything. And they had like a vent come down, they had a screen, and like 3 or 4 people could smoke at one of these booths. And it took it right out. You didn't smell it. Honest to God, it was amazing. And like the money they must have put in.
It's a little hot box.
It would have been. It's the money they must have put in for that, and then the smoking rooms. I don't know about you guys, bars and that. They only lasted about 5 years, and they were all gone.
Yeah. We had the smoking rooms only last a year or 2.
Yeah.
And then it was just all gone. It was like
I felt sorry for bars, you know.
Yeah. They took a hit to begin with, but eventually people are going to go back to drinking. Like there's just It is what it is.
They go outside,
I mean, we had lots of league bowlers that said they weren't going to come back. Yeah. We had lots of league bowlers that said they weren't going to come back if they can't smoke. We had lots of league bowlers say they weren't going to come back when we put in lane guards.
Mm-hmm.
They all did.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to deal with it.
Let's talk CBCs. You had some fun there too, Steve. Obviously making some money
I had some
and
miseries too.
yeah, but some pretty cool experiences. Now, what was qualifying like for you out of Ontario to make those?
Well, the first year when I won the Open in '86, they were doing provincial champions that year. So winning the Open also got me on there.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
And I didn't do very well that year. I pulled a 181. But, and boy, did I get razzed for that a long time. Yeah. So
it's okay. Kerry just threw one of those on Sunday. So he knows what
I get it. Yeah, but to do it on TV live. Because back then it was
we were live. Hey,
yeah, it's live. It's TV.
YouTube's live.
Live. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't watch it till later. So,
Steve, it's the same thing. Let's just move on.
Yeah. 181s, they aren't good.
Not even close.
Yeah, and that was at a Bolorama, right? Which Plantation, and I bowled at Thorncliffe, and they were both like Boloramas. They didn't take care of their lanes or anything like that. So he had them all oiled up, but. No excuse there because everyone else was playing it. But the scoring that year was very low, right? And that's because they weren't supposed to dress the lanes, but they did because he wanted them nice and shiny, right?
Looking,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've heard that one a few times.
Yeah. So and it was that when it was live, they only had 4 of you there. Right. So it wasn't like how it turned out to doing it all over a couple days and all 16 of you there and, some socializing, having fun. And I don't know why, too. It was out by the airport, but we stayed in a hotel downtown. They sent us by a limo to go bowl and back.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And also another thing there, too, was the production. They would have to set it up for like just over a couple hours of the taping and then boom, take it down. Yeah. So the production cost would have been cheaper when they had us all there, over a day or two.
Yeah.
Because that was the time when all the matches were live, right? So they would fly guys out for the weekend. And if they won their match, they'd fly them back later.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so even that cost too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's
a lot of money it was invested in that production back then. Well, and apparently the production costs were paid by Carlings back then. Like they covered that. And that could have been another people, okay, let's do this just on one weekend or whatever, right? Yeah. Right.
To save that because they got the trailers outside and everything and the cameras and all that
for all the production.
Dex, you mentioned once about your speed and all that and how fast you and someone else had a match real quick. Now if that had happened on CBC, it wouldn't have been a problem because they would just show more replays. You were worried that what do they do with the extra time? And if matches were slow,
Kerry was worried.
Don't encourage Dexter. I don't like it.
But exactly.
Yeah. So it was really good. And then because I did so bad, I wanted to get back on there and do well. And so when I made it the second time, 96 it was, and I did better then. Yeah.
You remember matches or you were playing? I'm doing some diving into YouTube here to see if I can find anything, but I don't think there is.
I have all the stats here if he doesn't remember. So
the stats, but not a video or anything. Yeah. All I see is something about a backyard 5-pin bowling that's had the most views of anybody. 55,000 views. The final match of day classic. Yeah, from the England homestead. So
Hey, the Englands have backyard bowling.
Yeah,
that was there.
That is awesome. I've done that. That was cool.
So of course they do. Of course they do.
So Steven, in '96, your first match you played the late Dave Gorley and you beat him by 100.
Did you say late?
Yeah, he passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah,
quite a while. No, it was like
longer.
over a decade ago.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was shortly after he won the Autumn Open. It was we 3 or 4 years after.
We played against him in 13 in Newfoundland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it was like honestly maybe 7 years, maybe at the most.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you played Dave, and then you played Mickey Harris from Northern Ontario.
Yeah,
and then you beat Diane 351, 274, and then you lost to Camboon 275, 245. He won 27,000, and you won 10,000, which is
wow.
Yeah.
That's still quite something. And then you guys played in 2000 again, I believe, right? 98.
No, 90. No, 98 or okay.
No, 99. Yeah. And you played Pierre Gingras from Quebec, beat him, and then you beat Kenny Norris from Calgary.
Yeah.
And then you beat Perry Gillum.
Yeah, we actually had a tie.
You had a tie, yes.
You 2-frame roll-off.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he lost to John Conti from Hamilton right afterwards. Yeah. So what was kind of the tie thing? Was it kind of nerve-wracking?
Well, it's 2 frames, so it went real quick, right?
Yeah.
So he went up, he missed spared, I think. And I just went up. I got a double. Then I have a chisel shot. I don't know if you guys have one.
No.
I use it a lot. I use it a lot when I pick a 3-pin, right? So depending on which one I move over. So I use that because I can, pretty much hit the side. I just wanted to make sure I forced him to strike out, and I got a hit on it, and then I went back to normal. It was funny. A couple people even noticed that I did it,
what is that? What's a chisel shot, you said?
Yeah, like I move way over to the right normally.
Yeah.
And if I pick a right 3-pin, I move over to the left, right? So, but anyhow, I just throw it from the side. Chances are I'm not going to punch, right? And I got a hit there, and then I left a corner in the last one. That's how I got the 88.
So that's crazy. That's another topic, I guess. You have to go shoot a shot, not punch. You go to your chisel shot then, or do you play for?
I actually
you missed the middle first, the second ball, you go chisel shot. That's what you do. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like if you, the only thing that's going to hurt you is a head pin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did it the CBC before. I'd used it once too. Like I don't do it a lot, Don't get me wrong. But I did it in that year too. I forget in which match it was, but yeah. And that year, I think Peteritis noticed that I had done it, right? Which is funny because for most people, they probably didn't even see that I had moved over. Yeah. So
crazy.
Yeah, because I move over quite a bit.
Playing defense a bit, yeah.
I can guarantee you, I play far right all the time. I can guarantee you can still punch. Promise you.
Well, see, I've had practice. I've picked a lot of 3s, right? So
that's something to ask you guys. Like, I know this has kind of been a conversation before, but do you guys play a different line when you cherry a 3-pin? Do you play a different line, or do you throw the same ball?
If I rip out the right 3-pin, I will always move far left. Always. Yeah. Because it gives you both sides of the head pin.
Exactly.
If I rip out the left 3-pin, then I'll stay on my right-hand side because it gives you both sides of the head pin. Yeah.
Are you saying that on your first ball, if you rip out your 3?
Yeah.
What do you do on your second ball?
Yeah.
Stay the same.
Yeah.
I move. And
I move. I move, yeah.
It just gives you the angle, right?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, whether you're hitting left or right, or even pretty high sometimes, you can still get it.
If I rip out my right 3-pin, I'll move left a little bit. If I rip out the opposite one, the left one, I won't because I shoot down the right side anyways. It's just a really terrible ball.
Yeah.
It's just giving
my
you
ball
the
side
whole
doesn't
side.
carry. Yeah. I don't carry with a ball side hit, so I will always move to pin side. So if I rip out the right 3-pin, I'll jump left to make sure I throw it into the left pocket. If I rip out the left 3-pin, I jump right to make sure I can throw it in the right pocket.
And I'll move so that I can hit it on either side. right? All of a sudden, I can put it into the ball or the hole side, and you'll see it jump across, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm lining up and looking to play to the pin side, but I don't know if I move a lot. I don't know. I just don't think about it. I just don't rip out 3 pins, guys. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It will now. Yeah. Yeah. Here's a couple of cool ones. In Ontario, you guys do the top 90 bowlers, and you were named number 17 on that list. Steve, that's a pretty cool thing, obviously, to be part of in Ontario. What was that one all about, and when did you find out about that?
That was I think that was for the year the turning of the century. I think they did. Yeah. So I was quite happy to be on that list. Yeah.
That's really neat.
A lot of neat names.
Yeah,
again,
because what they use that like from your opens and masters and stuff like that, and I think some other tournament wins and that. Like there was points for everything, right? There you go. 90th anniversary, but I think it was also was it not year 2000 coming up?
It had. To
be
really
yeah,
close
99. Yes, so it would have been 90, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, because the 100 year was 2009, so that makes.
Sense. No, I meant just the turning of the century, year 2000. Yeah,
for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool, just to be listed with all these, guys I look up to and all that. Yeah,
and then named to the C5 Top 100 as well.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was
really awesome.
Yeah, that hit me right here. Yeah. And I was looking through that. Because it gives you a list of all the guys, right? And on that list, I bowled with 92 of the 100.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there was only 8 names on that list I didn't know. So that was, and some go far back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you guys,
for sure.
Just with what you're doing, having old guys like me on, bringing back the history, that's pretty cool. And like you said, you guys are making your own history now.
Yes.
Yeah, with your generation and ones. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. Trying to leave whatever legacy we can, right?
Yeah.
Well, to be able to tell the story and to be able to help tell the story of the people that have played the game before us. I mean, I think that's the coolest thing here that we can do is document that a little bit.
Yeah.
From your own words and some of those memories. I mean, a lot of these memories, we're talking 30 years ago, obviously, for you, 35, 40 years ago. So
yeah.
To have, yourselves coming on and to reminisce and to chat about it, it just inspires us to be able to keep making memories ourselves. So 20 years from now, people might ask us, hey, do you remember back in 2021 when you were doing this podcast thing? Yeah. Totally. Or when you were starting this, pro league thing? Well, yeah, 20 years ago we started this, and it's all taken on something totally different by then. Who knows?
Like me and Tim always say, the only way we get into the Hall of Fame is as a builder. So that's what we're doing here.
Me too. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Commentator.
Yeah, but then they'll look at it as like, man, those guys are assholes. Okay, no, you're not.
Don't put them in.
Yeah.
It would just be like the Pete Rose all over again. Pete deserves to be in there, but nobody likes him.
Yeah.
What do you see in today's game right now that you're seeing out there that's good for the game and successful, or maybe some of the people that are playing locally in your area, Steve, that are contributing?
Well, like I haven't seen anyone in years, right? Yeah. The last time I really seen bowlers was the Hall of Fame there, 2015. But I watch everything I can, like your tournaments, the WBCT. I watch that all the time online. I love even just how you guys update the scores from each shift and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It really, and when you have it, sometimes you're showing the bowlers. I'll watch that too. The thing is, when you're watching the bowling, you really need to see the score.
Yeah,
totally. Not just for me, but for everyone else too, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. That's the most important thing. Like on the pro league,
that WCBT is doing.
Yeah, and like the pro league, like sometimes the team score isn't the best.
Yeah.
So that's tough, right? And plus you've got the different. Oh no, you guys are doing great, and you're getting better all the time. I tell you, I love it. Yeah. Yeah, no, you guys hopefully are going to get that big sponsorship, and that'll set you off.
That's really the hope. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Just somebody to support the behind the scenes and the production side of things, and so it's not always necessarily our own dollars or the bowlers' dollars that are having to pay to play. There's maybe a support from larger companies, but again, it takes people sharing it and watching it Sunday mornings. I mean, if we can get to 200 people watching it on a Sunday morning, I mean, we're getting 60, 70, something like that. But 200 or 1,000 people, next thing you know, there's some things in the works here, but I mean, that's the idea long term, is to have thousands of people watching it every Sunday morning.
Yeah, and if you could ever get that one big sponsor, right?
Yeah.
Like the Open now, they don't even have one, do they?
No.
And what Carling's did back in the day, that was awesome. Hiram Walker's for the Masters. Oh,
yeah.
We had a sponsor in Alberta for a little while, but then he moved away. So with the bats,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, but if you could, somehow snag a good one, I'll tell you a quick story. The singer, I just fell onto it by accident. Robin Ottolini. She's actually here in Uxbridge, is where she's from. But she started off just putting her stuff on TikTok and YouTube. She just got signed by a big company down in Warner in Tennessee, but she got noticed by being on TikTok and all that. So you never know, right? Like she's been out to Calgary. She played at the Stampede there.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Exactly. TikTok little videos. Or YouTube videos or whatever.
Right.
You just never know. I mean, you see the Hype House I was watching on Netflix, guilty pleasure. Sorry, guys, for bringing that up. But the Hype House is all these people that just had millions and millions of followers and videos, and they just all of a sudden hit viral one day. Yeah. And it just starts going and steamrolling. So can 5-pin bowling do that? And the next thing you know, people are watching our stuff and highlight packages and clips and personalities start coming. We just don't know. You have to keep building it and keep putting the content out there. So eventually, maybe it'll pay off.
I watch everything I can. I tell you, with the bowling, most of it is you guys, right? So,
I tell you, I'm not sure. Probably a few of our people watching right now. Mitch Hoope joined a YouTube channel here not too long ago, and they showcased 5-pin bowling because Mitch was originally from the Winnipeg area. And if 5-pin bowlers would watch that, like it, subscribe to it, share it, whatever, it would catch the attention because Mitch is part of 10-pin bowling. He's got sponsors in the States. That would catch the attention of maybe a 10-pin bowling company being like, hey, this 5-pin thing, apparently there's a lot of people that enjoy it up in Canada. It could draw interest from them to do something with 5-pin bowling, or it's so silly. Social media is so easy to use and so easy to like and share stuff, but it's amazing how many people won't do it because it's bowling, or they don't want their friends to know that they watch bowling stuff, or it's still it's almost still the nerdy sport, or it's something that to do with whatever you want to call it.
It's funny because I feel like that changes like mid-20s, or even like early 20s, where all of a sudden like guys can go and drink, and then all of a sudden they're going in on Friday nights with their buddies, and they're having like 6 beers and bowling some games, and then all of a sudden they start joining leagues and stuff. But at that, it's kind of like slow pitch. Like I never played slow pitch until I was like late 20s, and I didn't have a whole lot of interest in doing it. But that sort of changes. But I think once you get into that 20-ish range, that stigma kind of disappears, and people just realize it's a good time, and you can just go out and have a good time, or you can be competitive, and still have a good time.
We should make Mitch Hoope an honorary Dream Crusher. I think. Send him some stuff and
send him a Hoope jersey.
I'll message my buddy Belmo. Yeah.
You put him on speed dial there, bud.
Hang on a sec. Let me call him right now. Yeah.
You got to send him a pair of Yeezys if you want him on your call list.
Come on. Tim's chirping
Tim
you
and
again.
Dex here. Is more of your revenue from leagues or team or public bowling?
Pre-COVID or post-COVID? Yeah.
It's I'm gonna say it's pretty evenly split. Like we make a fair amount off our league bowling, but our open play is where we make the profits. Like our league play is like pretty consistent, and that's what covers most of our bills. But our weekends are just insane. We make a ton of money on our weekends, and that's
open
kind of
bowling.
our profit. Yeah. So it's a balance of both. We have so many leagues that fill up our evenings that it kind of isolates all of our open play into specific times, and then our open play is packed. So I'm gonna say it's pretty evenly split.
Like, okay, back when I worked at Thorncliffe, like Thorncliffe had 58 lanes, 30 10-pin, 34 10-pin, 24 5, and we had dinner leagues, right? Started 4:35. Then they had the 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock was full every single night. And then the 9:30 leagues. And they were generally full. It was just nonstop bowling. Like that place was a gold mine. And, most bowling centers back in the day, the 20, and like I said, 24 was normally the average. Same thing. They were full usually 7 and 9:30.
And you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to advertise. You just had to unlock the doors, and people would just flow in. Bowling.
Actually, Thorncliffe didn't even have a lock in their door. Seriously.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it was open 365, even Christmas. Never shut 24/7. And you should have seen the place at once midnight hit. A lot of Filipinos, they love the 10-pin. They would come in. And these guys would bowl for hours. Like they'd fill one sheet, come up, pay for it, get another.
Yeah.
And that 10-pin side with that was because they mainly bowled 10-pin.
Yeah.
But they weren't in leagues. But they would show up all the time. It was crazy.
There was a crazy story. Our previous owner at Sherwood Bowl, Lauren Rudkin, used to work at Eastview and through the Hunters chains out there, right?
Yeah.
And he said that there used to be a Filipino league once a week, and it would be a midnight shift or 1 o'clock in the morning shift.
Mm-hmm.
And because they would come off late night shift, and then they would want to bowl at that time, and it was packed. And realistically, if we had a league that wanted to do that, how can you say no to that, right?
You wouldn't. I know. Yeah.
That's dead time.
Yeah.
So crazy. Nick, me and Tim were actually discussing about having you on today, but not anymore.
No. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So I guess we're kind of reaching that 2-hour mark here, Steve. But is there any else you want to talk about? Like we've discussed your career and what we've been doing, but is there any stories you want to tell us about that we can share with maybe 5-Pin Universe After Dark, or what are we doing here?
I was kind of like to play jokes, right? So anyway, I don't know if you guys heard of Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
He won the Masters Nationals in '99, the singles. Anyway, I worked with him, and so one day I was in the back of the shop, and there was some broken glass. So I went and got a broom and swept it up, put it in a bag, and that went out and put it just in front of his truck. So I said to him, Mike, can I get a ride home with you tonight? And he said, sure. So I got his keys. I went out. I got the bag of glass. I rolled down this window. I put all the glass on the seat and on the floor. There was a rock there about the size of a baseball, right? And put that in. I go back in. Well, 10 minutes later, he's going out for a smoke because he went out every half hour. So he goes out, and we're watching a customer coming in, and he was freaking out, because he didn't want him to think he did it, right? And so, so he comes in all pissed off. I go, what? So I go out to see, right? I said, oh, wow, who did that? I wonder. So anyway, I said, well, can I let me see your key, right? So I get his key and I roll the window up, right? And he's trying to figure out, like, how the hell are you doing that, right?
Yeah.
He was pissed at me. You're cleaning that up, right? You lose your beer privileges. So anyway, 2 weeks later, there's a guy in the shop, and I'm telling the story. He says, well, geez. He says, what you do? He says, you get a cable tie. You know electrical cable ties?
Yeah.
He says, well, he says, you put one of them on the drive shaft. And so when you go, so anyway, he goes out to his truck. He comes in with these big cable ties. I'd never seen them that big. So again, I say, hey, Mike, can I get a ride home with you tonight? Sure, right? So we get in to go. Well, he drove, I don't know, 30 feet and tick, 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 tick. And he's not going fast, right? I couldn't believe how loud it was. So he stops, he gets out, he's looking at his tires. And, did you hear that? Not really. This seems fine.
Yeah.
So he goes another 30 feet. Well, he gets out. Well, this time, normally I can keep a straight face, but I was just laughing. He looked at me, Green, what did you do? Right? So I tell him, I said, it's just a cable tie, just go. Because I wanted to hear how loud it is when we get on the street and get on the highway. Right? But he made me get under there and take it off. I don't care. You're going to have to put up with one of these warnings. Don't do this at home or whatever. No, but that was... he was mad at me and I lost my beer privileges again after that one. It's even funny if we were together a few years later and I bring the story up telling someone, it was like he was still mad, eh? Oh, it was funny.
I feel like you and Bruce would have been really good friends. Bruce was a big prankster too.
He was.
Yeah. I think you guys would have been like great friends.
Oh, I got to tell you this other one. Used to bowl at this league, Crosstown in Toronto. And they had really good hot dogs. So this one guy, Russ Hercom, he goes up, he gets his hot dog, and we're bowling his team that night. So he puts his hot dog down at the table at the back, goes up, he gets to the bowl, washing in hand. He turns around, comes back, grabs his hot dog, sticks it in his pocket. He's got the mustard, really, he's got dress pants on, goes up, he misses the head, but takes 3 balls, and comes back. What the hell's going on? Well, apparently for 3 weeks in a row, guys in his team, when he went up, were eating his hot dog.
Yeah.
Taking a bite of food, right? So not this week. They're not getting my hot dog this week.
Yeah. Why don't you put it on the chair? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
No, but his dress pants had the mustard and oh man, his wife must have wondered what the hell did you do, right?
I would have just like spit on it or something.
Oh jeez. Yeah.
I would have taken a big bite for sure. If there was a hot dog sitting there all ready to go,
Yeah.
it's getting bit.
It's just like Johnny and his nachos. Remember, Daryl?
Yeah.
Yeah, goes up the bowl, someone else eats them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Is that what the story was, Tim?
From my understanding, is you guys ate his nachos and he started eating somebody else's from the special needs league.
Oh,
right.
He was just munching on it.
Yeah.
There's a special needs bowl.
We were doing that with Gallagher's beer in Nashville.
Yeah.
We should compile a coffee book, like a coffee table book of best pranks bowlers have done. I just made the idea, so nobody else out there can take that. So this is a 5-pin universe idea. If anybody's looking out there, coffee table book. Yeah,
I think it was this past weekend we were talking about it. Was when back in Collingwood when Johnny was getting a massage from Jen when he was ready to bowl and he's going like he was really into it, and then Kevin Chisholm hopped in. And he did it for like 15 minutes, and he's blowing on Johnny's ear. And Johnny's like, "Oh yeah." And then also he looked back, and he's like, "Oh!" Like this is
top 100 pranks or top 100.
Yeah, that would be good.
Stories. Yeah.
Hey, but if you do the cable tie one, don't let the guy go off on his own because he'll think his car is
The caveat.
That's
You got to make sure you're in the vehicle.
We'll have to change some names in it and change some locations, but the stories
Put
like it's like the disclaimer, like the NYPD Blue or stories might be real, but the
we'll use John
and...
Smith a lot.
Yeah, John Smith. Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, I think we'll end this podcast here.
Can I just say one thing before I go?
Course.
Yeah. Like I've got a few friends that are fighting cancer right now, and some I've good friends I lost from cancer, and I'm sure all you guys have too. So I just wanted to give my thoughts out to all of them, wish them the best, and hopefully this COVID will get out of the way so they can get their treatment and that.
Absolutely.
But hashtag F cancer.
Yes, I do believe we seen somebody post that earlier. I'll see if I can find it. So
that would be Mandy.
It was absolutely
yeah. That would be Mandy. Yeah. So
there's so many comments on this one, Steve. A lot of people are in.
There she is.
For you.
Yep.
And
that's
sure.
who I'm saying it on behalf. Mandy's been fighting cancer for a while. She's a super girl.
Well, our thoughts go out to her, and
obviously everybody
we're
in that
thinking
same
of you.
position.
Yeah, we all know someone, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've lost a lot of good people. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. So Steve, you're more than welcome to stick around and talk with us after. We'll just put you in the background here for a bit. If you decide to go, thank you very much for coming on and being part of this.
I'll just take a quick break again, and I'll meet you back there.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
right.
and thanks for having me, guys, and keep up the great work for what you're doing for our sport. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Very much, Steve.
With everything.
Thanks, Steve. This was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job, man.
Bye.
I feel like he would have been a blast to hang out with.
Yeah, you could have been best friends, I think, hanging out and getting into some trouble, and for sure. And it's so good to get lots of comments from people today. I mean, obviously, and a lot of viewers watching. I mean, Steve was well loved and liked across the country. So, solid guest, man. Great job.
That was fun.
It was awesome. I think it's the first time we talked to him. I mean, we probably talked to him over Messenger so much, and he's always commenting. So it was great to finally connect with him, right? So he has a lot of great stories.
I'm sure there's lots you could tell, but again, it's that 5PU after dark, some stories. But definitely a lot.
Might be we might have to start that and just do like a Patreon only video or something, maybe. Be a patron member to
share the terrible stories. Yeah,
well, that's coffee table, a book. We need to create a book and change the name.
Honestly, though, I think it's a great idea because if we could put out like a book of those stories of just that stuff, that's the stuff that gets people into the game. You know, that's the personalities.
It'll go viral.
That's the side of it.
What about
fun, right?
We could do a 5PU like drunk history, just like that show.
Oh man, I don't.
Yeah.
That has to be under a paywall or something because there's some stories that could come out that get a lot of people in trouble.
Yeah, that's just it too, right? You make a book of bad stories, people start putting two and two together. Like, hey, that was Bruce Mortar you were talking about. Hey, that was Steve Greensides you're talking about. Hey, was that was Dexter in his hotel room you're talking about.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a good story. Everybody's heard that one though.
Yeah.
So here we go. All-Star draw, 32 entries. Good luck, everyone. And maybe Marla will win another one. I don't know. She seems to win them.
Anybody but Jeff. Anybody but Jeff.
At this point, anybody but Jeff. Absolutely.
Oh, he's already passed. So we're good now.
Oh, I think Kevin's won before, too.
Kevin's won before. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats, Kevin. Marla just missed by one. Yikes. Awesome. Well, yeah. So what are we going to do for podcast 125?
We can bring a couple special guests on, maybe.
We'll get some return guests.
Yeah, and it's a good idea. A little State of the Union, or a little what's going on out there, and what's happening, and what are you seeing, and yeah.
And what maybe our ideas on what we want to see happen in the future of even 5-Pin Universe or something else for bowling. We'll come up with some ideas. We'll do some talking. If you guys want us to discuss any topics, just send us a message on Facebook or even post it in the Facebook or the 5-Pin Universe group on Facebook and see what we can do.
Yeah. And then so if we're looking at scheduling ahead, we'll have 3 guests in February, and then we'll have the Regina Classic press conference. Yeah. So that'll be what February's looking like, and I know we have a couple guests that we've contacted. It's just a matter of getting them on there. So.
And we've got a bit of information, flyers, posters, some of that stuff going to be heading out here soon to bowling centers across the country to hopefully, help them advertise a little bit 5-Pin Bowling in their center and share the word about us wonderful people doing this podcast. It'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of stuff coming out from us so that we can hopefully, get some new listeners. And that Sunday morning is prime time for people to be tuning in and watching YouTube, checking out some bowling, right? It's the time.
Yeah, exactly. Football doesn't come on until the afternoon, so gives you lots of time to watch some bowling.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you all next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.